Well, anytime I've got 10 total players, and anytime you say we've got 7 freshmen out of the 10, that's just a story in itself that I'd love to talk about. We've just been bonding. It wasn't very hard because the 7 freshmen all competed with each other as juniors. All American girls from around the area. The farthest is Maria Plaxina, who's from Florida, and she actually trained a little bit with one of my players from Kentucky, so she instantly knew a lot of the girls. And like I said, the 3 returners have just done a great job bonding with them, so the chemistry was never a problem. But we've been working hard and trying to get the freshmen to understand what playing on a team, a competitive team, is about. Tennis is so individualized. They're so used to training on their time, their coaches. So getting together with a group on a day in and day out basis, working with Coach Lee and Sam in the weight room. But we've just been trying to get together and getting them to understand what it's all about to be a college athlete.
I'd say it's kind of been a breath of fresh air, sort of. Like, they have a lot of energy, very motivated. They came in, I remember our first fall tournament, and we pulled up to the site and everybody started cheering, and like everyone was so pumped to get out of the van. So it's just like a lot of really good energy and just a lot of excitement for the season. My role, I try to just be a good leader on the court and off with just work ethic, and if I'm doing extra hitting on my own, like I'll invite the girls, or if we're going to do an extra workout or something, like I just try to keep everybody motivated. I also try to encourage just the whole team environment of everyone, encouraging each other, and yeah, just trying to be a good leader that way. Also, like in the classroom as well, with just asking like how their classes are going, are they studying, you know, like what, and also just to be like a good friend as well, like, you know, because there's a lot for them to adjust to as they're all new.
It's kind of weird because I am the youngest child in my family. I've always tended towards the younger side of any friend group I've been in, and this year I kind of feel like it's been more of the like mom role, which I have surprisingly found that I love, and it's been really fun, like answering questions and kind of just being there for them. But I really have to give it to all the freshmen because they are very sharp, very dedicated to what they do, very much go-getters, all of them really, and so I haven't found it at all necessary really to motivate them or anything like that. Like, they are internally just ready to get out there and do their best. So I've been so impressed and inspired by them to do better myself. We have been given more individual attention this fall and early winter, spring than I've ever been able to, which is so good because tennis is obviously a team sport, but it's broken down individually, and there's certain players that need help in one aspect: serving, ground stroke consistency, footwork. So that's been something we have been trying to break it down and really work on specifics with player to player as much as we can. But I guess, John, to answer a question, the one main thing is really being mentally tough, especially in pressured moments, and understanding that we can play good for a long period of time, but if you're bad for 2 minutes, it could determine the outcome of the match.
One thing he always talks about is us having good energy in our matches, but to work on that in practice, like just be a little more enthusiastic kind of when you're playing, and just to have like that fire within you, and like just feeling it, playing with passion and playing with your heart, and letting that carry over into our matches, because if you go out there, you start with doubles, and you know, you just start right away. You don't get to warm up with your opponent or anything, which is new for the freshmen. Sure. And so you just have to start right away, like it's just go time from the first ball. So if you just start with that good energy, that's the big thing we've kind of been focusing on, I'd say. Definitely,
I have been through my fair share of wins and fair share of losses, and I know what it's like at all these different places. And I know generally when people like have a tough match and they lose, like what do they need? They just need someone to be with them, just sit by them, encourage them that they're going to give another shot next week and it's going to be okay. And so that's really fun, being able to provide that for someone as I was cared for as a freshman as well.
Being involved in Belmont we've got a couple of simple goals that I told my team that as long as I'm here, and probably whoever comes in after me, there's going to be things that we talk about. One is going to be winning the OVC, competing as best we can in the OVC. Two is going to be a GPA of 3.5 or above, which I was completely blown away that we got a 3.7 this fall with the number of young student athletes. And three is going to be community service. And really, after those three things, whatever they choose to do is going to be based if they can manage it on their time. But we're putting in a lot of time on the tennis court and in the weight room and meetings. They're obviously putting their time in in the classroom and then trying to do things in the community. But I want them to be as well-rounded as possible and enjoy their experience here and be assets to the school.
Just being very responsible with our just jobs as athletes and looking at it as such a privilege and not just an activity. So I think it's cool seeing a fresh crew come in, and I'm just hoping and praying that they stay healthy and trying to foster habits of taking care of ourselves so that we're ready to get on the court and get some wins.
We're all here to, we're all here for tennis and to do the best and work hard for the team, but I think also it's important to realize that tennis is not everything that's happening, and it's not the main part of your life. I mean, you should be focused in it, but there's your family, friends, faith. That's also important. I try to be a leader that way of you have to have a balance. Like, it's good to work hard and put in the extra time, but it's nothing to drive yourself crazy over either.